Appreciate your scheduling this hearing, which is so important at this time. Would have been important regardless, but is most important now. The full flying public deserves a strong, modern, and well-staffed air traffic control system, no question. Today, that system is under strain, and it's been under strain for some time. Under Democratic and Republican presidents, it's been bipartisan in its failure to address the problems. We don't have enough air traffic controllers and haven't for many, many years. Some of that goes back to President Reagan and firing air traffic controllers. I think there were 11,000 fired. And we don't have enough technicians maintaining critical infrastructure. The recent and tragic mid-air collision at DCA is just the latest grim reminder that safety cannot be taken for granted. We've seen too many close calls in this country, runway incursions, mid-air near misses, in addition to the other tragic accidents that should serve as a wake-up call. They're not just flukes, these accidents. They're symptoms of an overburdened system and a workforce stretched too thin. This committee was not asleep at the wheel. Last year, in a bipartisan bill led by Mr. Graves, Mr. Larson, the 2024 FAA reauthorization law took important steps toward improving safety and staffing. That law just needs to be followed, like all other laws and constitutional provisions need to be followed. It directs the FAA to maximize hiring from the agency's Air Traffic Control Academy and requires new staffing models for safety-critical personnel to ensure we meet future demands. It also strengthens oversight of safety inspectors and ensures the FAA has the resources necessary to provide and prevent near misses and runway incursions. While these new provisions are important, their implementation is even more critical, and it's just getting the administration to follow through. And that's why we welcome the announcement by Transportation Secretary Duffy to supercharge the hiring of air traffic controllers, including a 30% increase in starting salaries. However, instead of unleashing DOGE and Elon Musk's young cronies, this administration should follow through on the mandates that have been set by this committee and by this Congress. They are the law of the land. We cannot afford reckless disruptions in the dedicated safety workforce that keeps the system running. The Trump administration's unjustified firing of talented FAA employees, including NATCA and past members, the very professionals responsible for maintaining critical air traffic control equipment, their firing was a dangerous and unnecessary move. These firings have consequences, and one of them is diminished ability to ensure safety and reliable air traffic. Even worse, there are some that think we should hand over the FAA to a billionaire who's made so many mistakes in this DOGE program that he's shown he is imperfect. Imperfect more often than not. He has a history of disregarding safety protocols, and when called on it by the FAA and the previous administrator, he came back, tried to get the FAA administrator fired, and I believe that's why he resigned, because he said we needed to get rid of him. He also wanted to change regulations that the FAA has because it interfered with his SpaceX, that the last one ended up, they're sending one up tonight. Hopefully it won't land in the Gulf of Mexico like the last one did. Let me be clear, this is not the time for Elon Musk or anyone else to play fast and loose with aviation safety. The FAA is the aviation expert and an airspace regulator that exists to protect the flying public, not solely to serve at the whims of a private industry. We must reject any attempts to privatize air traffic control systems. We must focus on policies that actually strengthen our air traffic control system and have broad support among industry and labor. Congress has provided clear bipartisan instructions for strengthening aviation safety. These laws must be implemented and not ignored. As we will hear today, we must hire more controllers. We must ensure proper safe staffing for safety critical positions. We must never let political games or misguided corporate ambitions get in the way of keeping our airspace safe. And once again, I thank Chairman Graves and Ranking Member Larson for the outstanding work they led us in passing the bipartisan bill that just needs to be followed. I yield back the balance of my time.